When's the last time you stopped and took a pause? When I talk about pause, I'm not talking about menopause or perimenopause. I'm talking about you really took a pause, stopped and took a breath and looked around. That kind of pause. Hey friends, welcome to the Inner Spark podcast. I'm your host, Casey Tayton. If you're looking to hear stories of transformation and personal growth, this podcast is for you. My guest and I will be sharing those sparking moments that has changed them into living a more fulfilling, authentic life. I'm so excited for you to hear each unique story. So sit back, relax, and let's get started. Hey friend, welcome back to the Inner Spark podcast. I'm your host, Casey Tayton. Today I want to talk about pausing in our day and the power it has in so many ways to help our bodies, our nervous system, the emotional aspect of it. There are so many ways and so many reasons why a pause is so powerful, and I have two mentors that have both talked about where are you pausing in your day, and are you pausing at least 3 times a day? The reason I think this is important is because I realize that sometimes I just go through my days and the pause that I need is a nervous system reset. And when I say pause, I mean if you're sitting at a desk, whatever you're doing, I set a little timer on my phone and I stop and take a breath. If I'm at a spot where I can walk outside, you could go walk outside. But what it does is really tells our body that we're safe. I think signaling safety to our body is one of the most important things. And I think that we can all use a pause in the middle of the day, whether it's you going for a walk outside, a short walk, or stepping away from your computer screen, or stepping away from what you're doing for a few minutes to just pause and allow your body to reset and refocus. A lot of people I know do that by breath work, just by taking a few slow couple deep breaths. You could tap on your collarbone and say, I'm safe. You could walk outside and get some fresh air. You could go put your feet on the gravel, on the ground, and reground yourself. But I want to tell you what happens, and the reason that I'm talking about the pause is because 2 of my mentors are talking about the importance of pausing. You know, we should start our morning off, we should pause in the middle of the day, and then at the end of the day. But what happens when we don't pause? Sometimes we rush through our day without pausing, and we rush and we speak and we don't think, and words just come out. And I'm going to tell you that this week where the pause really, really helped me was I was at the cancer center doing my treatment. I don't have cancer. I go there for hematology. And they were having trouble accessing my port and getting the blood to draw. And then I knew that they didn't have the right tubes. And this is something that I can feel my nervous system getting really tense and really uptight because I know what tubes they use. And I couldn't figure out why my port wasn't working. And it just wasn't working. And they kept flushing it. And they finally get it to work. And then I look over, I'm like, you don't have the right tube. I specifically said. And I'm like, okay. Before I get mad at this lady and tell her she's not doing her job, I'd already asked her, just in a conversation, I had to stop and take a deep breath and pause. Because I knew that if I did not pause and I just reacted, it wasn't going to come out nice at all. So I stopped and I sat in the chair because I had nowhere else to go besides in the chair. And I took a couple deep breaths and I said, do you have the gold top? That's the one the B12 goes in. And of course she didn't, so we had to start over. But This is just an example of, and there's so many examples of when we're talking to somebody, we don't take the time to listen and then pause and then speak. Or even when we're going to do something, it's like our bodies are always in fight or flight and we're always moving on to the next thing. When really, I don't think we all have bears and lions and tigers chasing us. So what if we all just slowed down before we walked out the door and paused? There's so much power in pausing. And I just wanted to bring it up because I think it is something truly, truly so simple that if so many of us paused before we spoke, the world would be a much better place. If so many of us paused in the middle of our day, paused in the morning before we left our house, paused in the middle of the day, my alarm goes off with a little jingle jingle to remind me, and then pause at the end of the night and just say how grateful you are for what a day and reflect on your day. But it is just so powerful. And honestly, they say some of the most successful people in life, they are not the ones who hustle. They are the ones who know when to pause. And you can pause in anything you're doing. But we're so rush, rush, go, go. And this is where it actually came up. So I was talking to someone about it today, and I said, it actually starts really young. We go, 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 and it's a learned behavior in elementary school, middle school, all the way through school. You have to get to the next class. You have to get to your locker. You have to do this. You have to be in the straight line. And God bless our teachers because, they have to keep everyone in order, and they have a lot on their plate. But we're taught to just go, 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 go. And then I worked in the operating room, and it was go, 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 go. And so we're taught from an early age that we're not pausing. And it doesn't take that long to just stop wherever you are. Give yourself a hug. Take a deep breath. See some sunshine. Go smile in the mirror. But step away from what you're doing. And then come back to it. And there are studies that show how when your nervous system is recalibrated and all going back together, the work you're doing is going to be so much more successful and done way better from you just by getting up and taking a pause instead of rushing through life. It's really just slowing down and pausing in every way. Allowing our bodies to know it's safe by pausing. Pausing before we speak. Pausing with whatever we're doing in life. So today, friends, I just challenge you. It's been on my mind. I have 2 mentors that are firm believers, and pausing in the morning before you walk out the door. Pause in the middle of the day. And then at the end of the night, pause. And if you need it more than that, if you are in a stressful environment, or if you're getting ready to do something scary, take a pause and take a breath. I thank you for listening to the Shower Sprinkle, and I just encourage you and challenge you for the next week to start taking that pause and see how much more clarity comes from what you're doing, how much more you can focus, how many times we don't just rattle and spout things off to someone because we took that extra second to allow ourselves to pause and take a breath and respond. I would love to know, and I'm challenging you to go do it for a week and then get back with me. I would love to know what you think about taking a pause in the day and the importance of it and how it can affect your overall mental health and our nervous system regulation and really just being the best human we can just by doing a simple pause. Thank you for tuning in to another episode. I hope today's story inspired you to embrace your own journey of growth and change. Remember, transformation isn't always easy, but it's always worth it. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, share it with a friend, and leave a review. If you found something that sparked you in this episode and may spark a friend, I encourage you to go share it with them. If you have your own story you would like to share, I would love to hear it, so please reach out to me. Until next time, friends, go have some fun and let those sparks fly.